What's going on, guys? It's Cal here from Buffalo Sports Center. Today, we are doing a preview video of the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills. AFC Conference Championship game winner moves to the Super Bowl. Again, I mean, both of these fans of both teams, we know each other so well. Do I really even have to make this video? I mean, if you're a Bills fan, you know the entirety of the Chiefs lineup, vice versa. I mean, this is just one of those games where you can almost see it coming from the start of the season. Again, people counted the Bills out the entire year. The Chiefs, people have counted them out too. They've said the Chiefs are softer this year. The Chiefs are worse, but they find a way to win games. And again, I think at this point, we're going to have to, we'll just talk about some stats. But overall, this is going to be an absolute heater of a game. Let's start off with quarterbacks. Mahomes, first things first, had 177 yards, one touchdown in the air last week against the Texans in their divisional win. But all year long, Mahomes has kind of had a little bit of a down year, but he's still, he gets the job done when he needs to. And, he's managed to stay relatively healthy, hasn't taken too many big hits, had that one ankle injury. But overall, Mahomes has found himself pretty healthy going into this game. Same can be said with Josh Allen, though. He's taken a few more hits, but definitely had a little bit better stats. Against the Ravens, had a little bit of a down game through the air. Again, weather did factor into both of these games, but Josh Allen went 127 in the air, no touchdowns in the air. So again, you have both of these teams, and it's going to be a very offensive-driven game, right? Whoever's offense plays better is probably going to win this game. The Chiefs' defense has become probably their best aspect, which is shocking to say. If you're a fan of both of these teams, you've seen each matchup, and it's always just this offensive slug out. Who can score more points? This year, the Chiefs' defense is, one of the best in the league, and you have the Bills' defense that could be one of the best in the league, but they heavily rely on turnovers, and that's something that significantly helped them win that game against the Ravens. I mean, 3 turnovers. The one, I don't know what Lamar was doing, just threw the ball backwards when DeMar Hamlin touched him. A terrible pick down the sidelines. Then a good punch out by Bernard on Mark Andrews. So it really should have only been like 1 turnover. 2 of them were just Lamar. I don't know what he was doing. But again, if that defense doesn't get those turnovers, the Bills probably lose that game. Let's go to running backs now, because the Chiefs' running game is the weakest it's ever been, yet it's still very efficient. Kareem Hunt, he's a good guy on 3rd downs, good guy on 4th downs, and a really good red zone running back. Pacheco, again, he has that ability to get loose and get some big yards down the field, but this season, he really hasn't done that, and their run game has certainly been kind of their worst aspect. You look at a guy like Xavier Worthy, who, is kind of that gadget guy on that team. Look for him to be, running the ball on some, jet sweeps or some motions out. Again, a guy like Xavier Worthy is a guy who knows the Bills passed on him, right? They traded with the Chiefs. So look for Keon Coleman and Xavier Worthy to have big games, or at least attempted big games. They're definitely going to scheme some stuff up. They know there's that little bit of a rivalry there because the Bills traded with the Chiefs. Is there really a rivalry? Probably not. But, you got to use that as motivation. Talking about receivers now, really there's only one guy on the Chiefs to talk about, and that is Travis Kelce. Again, DeAndre Hopkins, I get it. When he's in and he's, looking good, he can be a huge factor. But, on the Chiefs, he's been all right, but he's far from his prime. Travis Kelce, though, showed what he was made out of in that game against the Texans. 7 receptions for 117 yards and a touchdown. Again, this guy just finds himself wide open in the middle of the field time and time again. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how you lose him, but if you're the Bills, you know the game plan by now. Contain Kelce, contain the run game, and make Mahomes beat you. And he certainly can, and he certainly has in the past. We go to the Bills receivers, and they kind of had the same situation going. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins didn't have a reception. Amari Cooper didn't have a reception either in their divisional game. He's been kind of invisible since coming to the Bills. Again, he's been taking away half the field, but this was a game where there wasn't really anyone to take away in that Ravens secondary, and he still found himself kind of lackluster, kind of jogging around, doing not a whole lot but cardio. And then he had one target towards the end of the game where it looked like he turned the wrong way. I don't know if he's still trying to learn the playbook. I don't understand what's going on there. But Khalil Shakir has stepped up huge this entire season, right? In a year where the Bills had no wide receiver 1 coming into the year, Khalil Shakir stepped up into those shoes. Mac Hollins had 1 reception for 12 yards. Again, not a whole lot of receiving in this game. Josh Allen, right, only 127 yards in the air. The Bills actually play better when they run the ball ball more than when they pass the ball, which is kind of shocking, but I guess it makes sense with the kind of receivers the Bills have. James Cook, monster year, only had 67 yards on the ground, but 17 carries. Ty Johnson, again, 31 yards on the ground. I'll continue to say it. Ty Johnson, X factor of this offense. Ray Davis, 29 yards on the ground. Great to see him healthy after that huge hit 2 weeks ago now at this point. And then Allen, 20 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns on the ground. So that's really where he made up his ground. And again, Josh Allen is an absolute menace when he wants to be. I already talked about the Bills' defense getting turnovers. They're fully healthy. Besides Taylor Rapp, at the time of this recording, I'm not completely sure where he stands, but it looks like Taylor Rapp will be probably out. I don't know for sure. So that means Cole Bishop's going to have to step up, and potentially Micah Hyde on that practice squad might get that elevation. As far as the Chiefs defense goes, I mean, we know the drill, right? We know the drill with this Chiefs defense. Justin Reed, absolute stud. I mean, you could just go down the list. Nick Bolton's been really good this year. That defensive line, Chris Jones, I mean, there's no stopping him. You watch that game against the Texans, Chris Jones, every play was just blowing it up on the outside. That's a guy you can move inside to on that D-line. Trent McDuffie's having a monster season as well back there. Just a great tackler. He can get the interceptions when he needs to. Tranquil, again, this entire defense is a really solid unit, right? There's no one that really stands out as like an absolute stud, but everyone, is just a collective unit. Besides that D-line, of course, Chris Jones is a stud. George Karlaftis, you could say, is a stud. So it's just a really good defensive unit. Of course, the Chiefs have Matt Araiza, the former Bills punter, but I think Tyler Bass really stepped it up and proved why he is the Bills kicker. And again, I don't want to say anything too soon because Tyler Bass still has 1, potentially 2 games to blow it. But right now, he has really turned it up and proved why he should be the Bills kicker. As far as the other side with the Chiefs, I mean, they have a kicker that we all know, and we all know does not miss a lot of kicks, in Harrison Butker. So it's going to be a great game. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this. We're going to be making daily YouTube videos about this game because it's massive, right? It's the game to get to the Super Bowl. It's a rivalry. It's a rematch. Whatever you want to call it. This is the peak of Bills football right now. Again, the Bills haven't been to a Super Bowl since the 90s. A win this week would get them there. The Chiefs haven't been to a Super Bowl in a couple months. They're looking for the three-peat. So we'll see what happens in this one. Again, I think the national media doesn't really know where to stand on this one, but fans from all over the country, I think, are rooting for the Bills in this one just because people are kind of starting to get sick of the Chiefs, and don't even get me started about the refs. So leave a like on this video, leave a comment saying what you think about this game, and now let's see what our BSC panel has to say about this massive conference championship game.
Quarterback's legs. Quarterback's legs. Fakes left. Now taken off. Gonna run for it. He got it. And there he goes. Inside the 10, the 5.